terre. You don't know what we know because you don't do what we do. You don't have what we have because you don't do what we do. And so now it's time for us to move into the third phase of what we started so long ago. It's time for us to differentiate ourselves. I'm proposing that once again we pick up our game ball and we move to a new stadium. Only this one is a little bit different. As we walk through that door, metaphorically, let's lock it behind us. Now, I know for a number of years you've heard us stand on stage and talk about research, and many of you look at us and you think, that is so amazing. I wish I understood why. And it seems like we've been disjoined in what we've been doing. We have not. When we first started with research, our first research involved a petri dish. Thank you, Dr. Stevens. It involved a petri dish. And then we began working with hospitals. Vanderbilt, thank you, Vanderbilt. For 5 years, they used our essential oils in their emergency room environment. And then we began introducing things to you like, what if we had specific targets? What if we knew location of where essential oils worked? And we began to identify that essential oils work not only on the surface of the cell, but they have internal targets like the mitochondria. And then we began to talk with you about dosing and pathway as we moved through working with Roseman and other institutions. And as of late, you've heard us talk a lot about pharmacokinetics and epigenetics. And while those all sound really great, in our minds, they are all interconnected. Our goal is to share with you things now that become meaningful as we connect all of those things together and metaphorically step through a new doorway with one another. Now, about 12 years ago, I had the opportunity, Greg Cook invited me to go to lunch to meet with a friend of his. His name was Dr. Russell Osgothorpe. And while we had a great lunch together, I know that he looked at me with concern, confusion, and thought I was crazy, because I invited him to join with us. And very politely and very stoically, as I recall, he said, well, no thank you. And as we left, I remember telling Greg, don't ever put me in a circumstance